feel like I'm in Disneyland.
Cool, bro. Well, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Excellent, man.
So happy to actually have you here, man. Like, a person of your caliber, your success, to be here in this humble, podcast show that I'm kind of putting together is honestly an honor.
Thanks, man. It's my pleasure, man. It's my pleasure. If I can help in any way, it's just the type of person that I am.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You are that type of person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So I told you, just like I've kind of like repeated a few times, this is a passion project, man. Like, honestly, I'm just looking to show my son the effort that goes into putting, this was a family effort. We all put this together.
It's nice.
They painted some of this stuff, like they helped me with that stuff. And then it's just a passion project to see that hard work pays off, right? And
Absolutely.
Consistency pays off. And bringing people in here that are down to earth people that have success, have found success through different, mediums.
Right.
And it goes to show that, normal people, regular people, people that are just themselves can really be truly successful in this life.
Absolutely.
And I think more than anything, you represent everything that I kind of just covered, and so it's super cool that you're here, but especially after what happened to you earlier, within the last weekend or a few days ago, for you to be here, I appreciate the push and just super thankful.
Absolutely, man. You've been it's been great working with you too. You're a professional person.
Thank you, man.
You're a humble person, and I think we come from a similar maybe background. Where at some point we had nothing, and now we have the most important thing, which is family, right?
Yeah.
Wife, our kids, and we myself, I push hard every single day, and I try to be the best person, for myself first, but then obviously for my family, and try to be a mentor to my family.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Super cool. I know you have a really nice story, and that's more than anything what I'd like to hear. How first of all, we've worked on a couple of projects together. I thank you so much for the opportunity, for allowing me to help you with these things. With your marketing, it's super fun to do it, and it's a different industry that I had never been exposed to before, which is the breeding, dog breeding industry, right? Specifically for Rottweilers, and most recently for bullies.
For bullies, correct.
Which you have amazing dogs.
Thanks.
Like they're beauties too. This is coming from a guy who, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but I am terrified of dogs. And these dogs have completely changed my mindset just being around them, because sometimes you think, oh, these dogs are just, they're so massive, they have muscles on muscles on muscles, and they can be like, they have fierce look.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're intimidating, man, for sure.
Absolutely. But your dogs, every single dog that you breed, from puppies up to, to where they're at now, is just, their temper is just completely different. Like it just changes the mindset for somebody like myself who's, just been intimidated by different dogs along my life.
Right.
But more than anything, man, you're a pioneer in your industry, because you're always one of those people that you go out there and you are the tip of the spear, man. You go do it first and everybody follows.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to steal your thunder, but I want to make sure you get credit where credit's due. You were one of the first people to start marketing on YouTube, right? You created your own YouTube channel.
Yes, absolutely. I did.
And then you started doing obviously you've won several shows with your dogs as well, right?
I did. That is how I started initially doing marketing.
Marketing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then more than anything, I think a big thing that you did was you brought a bloodline. You were the first person to bring a specific bloodline into the US for Rottweilers, right?
Correct.
So yeah, man, I don't want to talk for you. I just know, again, that's so many huge accomplishments where you do it first and then people see your success and then they try to follow in your footsteps.
Correct.
So talk to me about that, man. Talk to me about your journey.
Yeah, I've been in the IT industry for many years.
Yeah.
And I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Okay.
So for me, it's important to be in a position that I'm going to love
Yeah.
and enjoy
Yeah.
versus, I'm going to get up, go and, do whatever and come back home.
Yeah.
So after 18 years of having my own business as an IT consultant, I did consulting for a lot of doctors in Orange County, where I came from.
Yeah.
We had my wife and I had a home. We didn't have any kids. And so I used to go a lot out to do after hours upgrades to these offices. And my wife was always concerned of staying home by herself.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, let's get a dog. So then we started looking into different type of dogs, and I started thinking back of when I was younger, a kid with my parents, of the dogs that I liked. So the Rottweiler was one of them. Doberman was another one. German Shepherd was another one. So we ended up, going with the Rottweiler breed.
Okay.
We had 2 Rottweilers. And, I'm the type of guy that if I see an opportunity and I can handle it, or if I have the financial to do it, I do it.
Yeah.
And for example, let's say I have $50,000 and I'm going to invest in something. My mindset is I'm going to do it. If I lose it, I'm going to lose it. It's okay. It's no big deal. But obviously, we all want success.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
My IT business was successful, but it was just getting me there. It was getting me through, and I didn't want that. When I did all when I balanced everything out, it wasn't worth my time that I gave to the business.
Yeah.
So, luckily I sold it. I sold it well. I came to here to Temecula, and I've decided to invest money into some dogs.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be different.
Yeah.
So I went to Europe for about 2 months with my wife, and we came back with 5 dogs.
Wow.
We came back with 4 females and 1 male. And we spent a significant amount of money in that.
Oh, I bet.
It was very expensive just being there, being in hotels, the food. We didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
We just got a list of breeders and we started visiting breeders. When we came back here, we imported the dogs, and I started, we did a YouTube video.
Okay.
And that YouTube video went
viral
everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, probably close to 1 million views right now.
That is crazy.
And we have about, almost 2 million views with all the videos that we have done.
Yeah.
And we haven't done a lot, but when we do it, we like to do it professionally.
Yeah.
We like to be ready. We want to show our product. So when we started doing the breedings, I used to hear from a lot of people that would come and visit me saying, hey, this other breeder talked bad about you. This other breeder said that you didn't know what you were doing, and that you were, changing the look of the Rottweiler breed.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was, and I was aware of that, but that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
And whatever I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
The person that I will listen to is obviously my wife and myself, and that's it. Everybody else, I will take your input, but if I don't want to apply it, I don't have to apply it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it kind of becomes like white noise, right? Like everybody else around is just white noise.
Absolutely.
They don't have anything to...
And that's the way I've been.
Good.
And that's been part of why I am successful at what I'm doing, because I stay in my own lane. I don't get involved with any other breeders.
Yeah.
And it's funny because as soon as I started doing that, everybody started importing dogs from that bloodline.
Right.
Yeah. And all these people who were talking bad, they were just following my steps.
They said they just jumped on the bandwagon, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they saw the success that you were having for being different or trying a different approach, right? That nobody else had done before.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. The thing is that there's a lot of parts to being successful.
Okay.
It's a puzzle.
Yeah.
You have to do marketing.
Yeah.
You have to be presentable.
Yeah.
You have to show trust to the people from other states and from other countries. And you have to be active and you have to continue. I have a 2-year-old boy and a 3-year-old daughter, and they have taken a lot of my time, which for me is priority.
Yeah.
So I give them the time, but now they're a little bit bigger, and I'm going to start focusing more on doing more marketing, especially nowadays. With the economy, being not as great. The sales have dropped for a lot of people. For me, it has been great.
Yeah.
I have people still waiting for puppies, and I expect for it to continue to be this way.
And I don't see that changing anytime soon, because again, what you deliver is, at the end of the day, is a quality, right? We can call it product, or we can call it overall like a quality animal, a quality dog that people can rely. Because it's surprising to me, when I first met you, we were talking, you were kind of explaining to me a little bit about your business, and you told me that you give them a guarantee.
Right.
How long is that guarantee?
So, I have a contract.
Yeah.
But I also put myself in the shoes of my clients. So, sometimes as a person, I am allowed and able to break a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If I feel it's the right thing to do. So the guarantee is for 2 years, and the heart failure, hips, elbows, anything that they can inherit from the parents, great grandparents, generations down the line.
Of course.
But if somebody calls me and says, "Hey, Frank, listen, man, I got a female from you." I mean, and this did happen, recently. They call me, they say, "I got a female from you 3 years ago. I'm going to breed her, but, she can't have puppies," for whatever reason it was, right?
Yeah.
So my guarantee covers 2 years.
Yeah.
So at that point, I could just say, "Hey,
sorry, man,
it's a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
It's not my problem anymore." I could have said that, and their vision probably would have changed. They would understand.
Yeah.
But their vision of me maybe would have been a little bit different.
Of course.
But I say, listen, I get it. You bought the female for breeding purposes. She's not able to give you puppies. Let's work out something. And I worked out something where, I took a little bit of a loss.
Right.
But for me, at the end of the day, it's a gain because my client is happy.
Yeah.
So these are things that you as a business owner need to do. And that's part of the puzzle of being successful. And a lot of people don't understand because they just want to receive and they don't want to give.
Bro, it's so funny
Right?
that you talk about that, because in the past couple of shows that I've had, or the recordings that we've done, we've touched on that subject so much. And to me, right, it's something so simple, but it opens the doors so wide for you, like, for things to come back and reciprocate in that specific way, because it's easy to say, "Give me," but it's not easy to say, "Hey, how can I add value to you?" Right. And I think that's a perfect story, like, what you were sharing, because anybody could have easily said, "Hey man, sorry, 2 years, you're out." Like it's year number 3. I mean, not even like close to 2 years, it's like a whole year after.
Right.
But if you were able to do something for that client, yes, absolutely. Not only that, but I'm sure they're going to continue to recommend you because of the type of person that you are and understanding, because again, right, we're dealing with animals, right? You're dealing with animals. It's not like you're dealing with like a computer anymore, or something like, oh, software doesn't work or whatever.
Right.
Things can happen
Absolutely.
genetically.
And the thing is that when people invest on the quality of dogs that I, provide, they're not paying $100, $200, $300. They're paying thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And me as the business owner and as the breeder, I take also that into consideration. Now, if they call me and they say, "Hey, listen, I left the gate open and the dog ran out and he got hit by a freaking car, man. Now he's dead."
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know what to do. I can't do anything at that point.
Yeah.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right.
I can offer you another dog and maybe, help you out a little bit, but other than that, that's it.
Yeah.
So, different scenarios that happens. But, there's people that they just shut their doors.
Absolutely. No, I think it's a really, really good business plan as a business owner that shows that, not only like you're not just trying to do the transaction, you continue to care after the transaction is still done, right?
Yeah.
Because again, I'm sure you raise these. I mean, let's be honest, right? I know we're in, this is the month of February. This is going to launch in March. But I know you've been busy, man, like non-sleepy nights, and it hasn't been your kids per se. It has been all these puppies that you've been having over the past couple of months, right? I mean,
yeah, we did.
How
Have
many
a lot of
puppies did you guys have in this? How many litters?
Well, we have about 4 litters, and we had a total of about 30 puppies.
30 puppies.
30 puppies, different stages.
Right. Not all at once. It was different stages,
Yeah.
different time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy because I know you're pretty much, I would say, the face of your business, but I know a lot goes behind it, and I know your wife is always there to support you. I mean, every time we've done a video, bro, she's been there, and she takes care of business just as much as you do. And it's awesome to see somebody support, their spouse so much like she does.
Yeah. I mean, she's great. Yeah. And she's been great. And she's a mom. So she sees things different.
Yeah.
If I see a puppy and he's sick, he might recover today or tomorrow. And that's the way I might see it.
Yeah.
But my wife's like, no, let's get him antibiotics. Let's get him to another room. Let's make sure, his temperature is good.
Yeah.
She's a mother, right? So that's what moms do,
Yeah.
right? They cater, they womb, their kids, you know, and it's just different.
It's the motherly instinct that takes over.
For us, we're a little bit more of the, I mean.
Wait it out a little and see if it
things
gets
happen,
fixed. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's been a great support, man. And that's another thing that I know a lot of fellow breeders don't have. The wife are not supportive.
Yeah.
The partners are not supportive. And that can potentially, hurt the business too.
Yeah.
Because obviously, a happy family is always better chances of success.
Yes.
Than having somebody, that doesn't support you. Because you need that emotionally.
Oh, absolutely. I'm telling you, man, like all this was, like my wife saw me. I'm not a carpenter, bro, by all means. I'm like, I need to put something together and I don't know how to do it. So how do I go? YouTube, everything, right? Like you go online nowadays, you do your research and saw how this guy making walls took the instructions, and I just went and bought the materials and I started working. And my wife was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm losing, we're in my garage, full disclosure. She's like, I'm losing my garage. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, this is something I want to do. I'm like, I have a, I feel like there's a call here, right? And I'm like, I want to answer it. If it wasn't because of her support, man, it's the same. I feel like I'm in the same boat with you. Like if you have to have a strong woman behind you or partner, right? Just to help you through emotionally, because you're going to doubt things sometimes, and you're going to be like, should I really do this or not? But especially people having fears, right? There's that fear of like, what if I fail? Mm-hmm. Which for you're saying, hey, you know what? When I invest, I go head on. And talk to me about that process, because a lot of people have a fear of investing or believing in themselves, right? And sometimes you're like you said, hey, I think you're the type of person that you would rather live with that, hey, I did it and I failed and it's okay, let's move forward, than what if?
Right.
Am I right on that?
Yeah, so I'll give you a perfect example. I bought 2 bullies from China. They were expensive, okay? I had, a lot of money invested already.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting the response that I wanted to get from the sellers.
Okay.
And, it did come to a point where, I had a conversation with my wife and I said, I think we're done. I don't think we're going to get our money, not even our money back. I mean, I think I just lost all the money. And, but if you have the funds, it's always better for me to invest it and take a chance than for the funds just to sit there.
Right.
Because when the funds sit there, that's all they're doing. They're just sitting there.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there with the funds too,
yeah.
because you don't want to do anything with it because you're afraid. It's like, buying a home. Millions and thousands of people, they don't want to buy a house. They're afraid of commitment. They're afraid that, if I buy a house and I can't make the payments, what's going to happen? Well, if you rent my house and you can't make the payments, what's going to happen? I'm going to kick you out.
Right.
So it's the same thing when you're buying a house. You don't make the payments, the bank's going to take the house away. The only benefit, one of the benefits is it's your home.
Yeah.
It's the home to your family.
Yeah.
You can do upgrades. You can do whatever you want to it. And regardless, we all have to pay, whether it's a mortgage, whether it's rent.
Yeah.
It's just part of life.
Absolutely. And I've talked to lenders about this before, but you buy a house, it's like you mentioned, it's yours, right? The money is being reinvested in something that you're going to be able to own down the line, right?
Right.
You pay somebody's rent, you're paying their mortgage essentially. That money's going away every single time that you pay your mortgage. It's just buy money. It's not an actual investment, right?
Yeah, and and that's fine too. Maybe you're not ready to buy the house.
Could be it.
Maybe you don't have the down payment. Maybe your credit is whack.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it happens.
Maybe you're with the person that you don't feel like you want to enter into that type of commitment with. So there's a lot of reasons.
True.
But I think that if the opportunity comes, you take it.
Right.
So if you're looking for a house and the opportunity comes, boom, you take it. If you have money sitting in the bank and there's an opportunity that comes, then boom, you take it.
So how does that process work for you? Because I'm sure you're very strategic as to, obviously having a plan thought out before you're like, okay, well, that's an opportunity, right? It's right in front of me. I'm seeing it. I'm interested. How do you pursue it?
I visualize.
Okay.
I visualize myself. I visualize, now that I have my family, I visualize everybody in the next 6 months to 1 year. And that's how I do it. And I make plans, in my head. I'm not a paper type of guy. I am, I kind of put everything in my memory. Even when I have appointments, it's in memory. And maybe I have to get out of that habit because the older you get, the more you forget. But I will do that, but that's the way I work.
Yeah.
When I started doing the breeding of the Rottweilers, I knew it was going to take a while. Just like any business, right? If you invest $100,000, don't expect to make $100,000 that same year. Don't even expect to make $100,000 the next year. You have to have a cushion. If you have 50, if you have 100, invest 50 and leave that 50 for cushion.
Okay.
Right? Because the business can take a year and it can take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like my vision from 4 or 5 years ago is just now
starting to take shape.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the puppies that are coming out of my kennel, it's consistency.
Yeah.
It's the look that I want.
Yeah.
So when people see one of my Rottweilers down the street, I want them to say, man, that's a Frank Bustos dog.
Yeah.
Right there. It's like Coca-Cola. Oh, it's a red can. Oh, yeah, that's Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
So I want now my puppies are branded, and now when I sell my puppies, I don't sell them with breeding rights anymore.
Oh, okay.
That has also changed.
Okay.
And like my studs, I don't stud them out to just any female. I have to like the female.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has to be proper female for my males, and the bloodline has to match to get a nice product.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about that before, where you're very selective. And again, you've taught me a lot of this part of the industry, but I can see that you're that you have a process down to a T now, where everything how to consistently, and I get it, man. Like I'm just telling you, I look at your puppies, right? I think I took a couple of pictures of was it Sergeant a couple of years ago, maybe. When he was still kind of like young.
Right.
And I saw him again just a few months ago, and I was like, what happened to this dog? I was like, Jesus, like he just got more. I thought he was big back then, bro. I was so scared that photo shoot, that, to be honest with you, and I know we were just trying to get him going to pose correctly. And then all of a sudden we did a little video for December, and I was like, whoa, is that Sergeant? I'm like,
this dog grew. And I was like,
Yeah.
what are you feeding it, man? Like, like what type of regimen do you have for your dogs too? Because I'm sure, and I think you get this question asked quite a lot, right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you feed your dogs? Like, how have you come down to like now have the perfect formula? I guess if you want to put it that way.
Well, it's like that reel that's coming out, right? What do you feed your dog? I feed my dog other dogs.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's a lot has to do with genetics. Okay. And that is part of the look and the branding that I have been working on.
Okay.
Sargent, when Sargent was younger, I honestly didn't have a lot of high hopes on him.
Okay.
And this is what I tell people, give the animal a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give them a chance. But a lot of people, because it's a Rottweiler, they want to see this Rottweiler at 8 months, 9 months old. They want to see a monster, right? We want to see a big dog. I want the biggest head. They don't give a chance. And when they don't see that, they don't like the dog anymore. And when they don't like the dog, they don't spend time with the dog.
Yeah.
They don't feed the dog maybe good food.
Yeah.
They kind of neglect the dog a little bit, right?
Gotcha.
So I just tell people give the dogs a chance. And this is the perfect example with Sargent. I wasn't happy with him at 5 months, 6, 7, 8, 9 months.
Yeah.
But I said, okay, let me give him his time. And he turned 2 years old and he just popped.
Yeah, man. I'll throw a picture, like for people who are watching this, like through this, the YouTube stream, but it was incredible to notice the change, for Sargent. And again, coming from somebody who's not experienced in the industry, when I saw him the first time, I was like, wow, that's a big dog already.
Right.
And then I saw him again, just recently, a few months ago, and I was like, what have you been feeding this dog? Because it's incredible to see the change. And like you said, sometimes you have to be patient with some things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But now, how did you learn that process, man? Like, to be able to get your dogs, obviously want to be happy, be healthy, and feed them the right things. Like, was it a lot of trial and error? How did you go through that?
It was a lot of trial and error. And I've like I said, a big part of it's already going to be in their genes.
Okay.
So, but now I was able to, put that behind me because I already had the bloodline. I already knew what was in the genes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's food.
Okay.
Dogs just like us, I love Mexican food.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, if I can't eat Mexican food all week, right? Because then I'll get sick of it,
Yeah.
right? So same thing with the dogs. You feed them this brand, and then after a couple weeks or maybe a couple months, they're like, man, like, give me something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I always tell the people, you feed your dog what works for them and what works for you.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I buy a certain brand and my dogs love it and they eat it, but then their poop is horrible, it's not going to work. That don't work for me.
Gotcha.
Because, I don't want the whole place to be super stinky.
Right.
I mean, it smells, because it's normal, but there's different type of smells too.
Got
then, when they, do their business, it's solid, it's runny or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they like the food but I don't like, how they are doing their business, then I'm gonna change the food because it's not working out for me.
So, I mean, it's crazy. It gets down to that being that detail oriented that you even have to look at their poop and like, and just, I mean, it's part of the process, right? Like you're literally like out there and you're like, okay, let me take a look at the poop. And it's like, oh, this is not right.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. So,
and then price too.
Okay.
Everything's expensive, right?
Yeah.
So, and I have a lot of dogs. So let's say, between all my dogs, it's, 2 bags a week.
Okay.
And the price on one of the bags is $90.
Yeah.
So now I'm spending $200 a week, $800 a month.
Yeah.
And when I have females and the females are pregnant, I have to feed them more. So that can go up to $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month.
My God.
And it gets expensive.
It's part of the investment process, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, Now, okay, now we've talked about the food, and obviously, do you feel like as the business continues to grow, you continue to have more dogs and stuff like that, and do you continue to learn, as a business owner, not only more about your animals but also about your business, or do you feel like you've come to a place where you're so comfortable that you got a handle on everything? Do you get the question? It's just I'm trying to see if, like, even now that you're successful, do you continue to learn more and more?
100%, absolutely. So now I'm at the stage where I know what the formula is to put out there what I want and what I want everybody else to have. Like I said, my dog walks down the street, boom, that's a Vom Bustos house dog.
Yeah.
I have that now. I have the bloodline. I have the males. I have the females. That's there.
Yeah.
Now I have to work into getting it out there and having the consistency. But I'm not done. I'm not. I mean, I think if I am 100% successful right now,
Yeah.
by the end of the year or next year, I'm going to be 3, 4, 5 times more successful than what I am now.
Wow.
Because my vision is, I want to start 10 years from now, I want to start traveling with my family.
Love it. Okay.
I want my daughter or my son to take over the business, and I want them to learn from me as they get to the proper age.
Gotcha.
And I want them to take over the business. If they don't want to, then that's fine. I'm not going to force them. If they have a different path, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But at least I want to lead the way.
And I think your kids, I've had the pleasure of looking at them when we film some stuff, and they just have a passion for their puppies, man. Like they
do.
love the dogs, and it's crazy. Again, it's just the Rottweilers just give that love right back to them. It's like really such a cute thing to look at, and you have beautiful kids too. Again, your family overall is just a beautiful family. It's always a pleasure to work with you because I get to kind of look at them and it's just you, and I love that about you, that you're such a family man, and for you priority is always family, right? And after that, then you kind of
we just need a nanny.
Hey man, I mean it's maybe now that the kids are getting older, like you were saying, that's gonna be part of your process to try and continue to grow the business. But I love that part because you don't allow yourself to. A lot of people will make a million excuses, right? Oh yeah, they'll throw them and they're like, oh, my family, it consumes just too much time and I can't do this or whatever. But you balance it out, or you make the time, or you work it out. I think the other day when we went to lunch, you mentioned that. Oh yeah, you know what? I wait till my kids, I put them to sleep, and then I go at it, man. Like I start working, I start doing all these things, and I take care of the puppies and I do all these things. And it's just, if you want to put the effort into it, right? You're gonna do it.
Yeah,
you're gonna do it. And I love that about you, man. It's so inspirational to see somebody that's a hard worker, down to earth type of person, just working hard, having a successful business, right? And now, not only have you been successful with your Rottweilers, now you've brought in the bullies. I know recently you just started with the bullies, not only one but two.
Right,
2 bullies, beautiful creatures. I mean, I was impressed by the Rottweilers. And then you show me these guys. I think I told you at the time, it looks like you take them to the gym, man. Like it looks like they're just lifting weights all day long because like they're just sitting there and they're muscles everywhere.
Yeah.
So what was the thought process behind this one? Because this is a new, similar venture, same industry, but different type of breed.
Yeah. You have to love the breed.
Okay.
I mean, that's a must. And I'm like that. I can bring another breed that maybe sells 3 times or 4 times more than Rottweiler sell.
Okay.
Maybe the sales can be higher. Maybe they're a more wanted breed.
Yeah.
But if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. I'm just that type of person. I'll give you an example. I partnered with someone from Europe, and we were importing Frenchies maybe like 4 or 5 years ago when the Frenchies were just coming out.
Got it.
And the sales were good. We were doing really good on sales. and also on profit back,
Okay.
you know, on investment. But I didn't like it, man. I just, it was not my type of dog,
Okay.
you know. So I said, you know what, I don't want to do it anymore. It's not my, I don't enjoy it,
Yeah.
so I'm not gonna do it.
So it's not always about the money then.
It's not.
There has to be a passion behind it.
Yes,
Like
yes.
you have
But
to
it
like
has
what
to
you're
be
doing.
profitable.
Right, right.
If it's not, then, you know, I'm not gonna do it. I don't, you know, I'm not gonna pick up poop for fun, right? I'm not gonna take my dog to the vet and have him barf, you know, in front of me, you know, for fun.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it has to be profitable.
Absolutely.
You know, but you have to enjoy it too,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I mentioned earlier, my IT business, you know, it was okay, it was profitable, but I really didn't like it anymore.
Yeah.
So I had to move on,
Yeah.
you know, and this happens a lot, you know, but people don't realize it because they're stuck in the same position because they are used to it.
Yeah. They're in the
Right.
comfort zone.
They're in the comfort zone and they're afraid, you know, to quit, you know, and they're afraid that if I quit, I might not get another job.
Right.
You know, they close their own doors, they shut them down,
Yeah.
you know.
It's all a mental process, I think. I will tell you this though, because I was stuck in that rut for a long, long time. And sometimes, obviously, yes, taking that next step into the unknown, the uncertainty, right, can be very scary, right? And I think it also comes to the, you know, sometimes our families, right? If we don't have somebody that we can look up to that maybe has been an entrepreneur or that has taken chances and not be, you know, like scared of that, you don't necessarily have the right or, you know, that mentality to grow up with, right? And you just get maybe sometimes into a 9 to 5. And, you know, for some people, that's okay. That's what they want. That's their comfort zone. Or maybe that's what they enjoy doing if that's something
Right.
they like, right? For others, though, it's always like you're always wanting more and you're always questioning. Like, you know, like, I know that I'm meant for something more than this, right? Or I can do something better than this, but they don't know what. And I know I was stuck in that rut for a long time working in finance. And one, you know, obviously taking care of responsibilities. I'm a family man as well. And, you know, you just don't want to quit without having, you know, something to rely on, right?
Right.
But finding that thing, it took me a long time. And then until I found that passion, that's when I was finally like, okay, now I'm going to take that next step, right? And go ahead and just see what happens, you know? But it's really, really cool that you were able to find your calling, you know, after even having a profitable business from the IT, but for you, it wasn't fulfilling, right?
Yeah, well, for me, it was important because, like I said, I vision 6 months, you know, a year or years down the road. Like when I met my wife, I visioned myself with my wife forever.
I love that,
I
man.
visioned my kids with her. That was my vision.
Yeah.
And I pursued it, and I got it, and now I have it, right? And that's the thing with a lot of people, you know. They, like you said, they get into their comfort zone, and you know, I don't judge
Yeah.
those people. You do whatever works for you. I do whatever works for me and
Absolutely.
whatever makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know, and if a 9 to 5 job, you know, makes you happy, then that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it either.
We're all different.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with it. No.
And you know, like I said, if it pays the bills, if it makes you happy, and that's where you're, you know, because some people do find happiness in a 9 to 5 that, you know, that maybe it's a specific career that fulfills them, that's what they were, you know, trying to reach for since they were young, or they knew what they wanted to go for, and that's okay. You know, that's perfectly fine. But there's also the people that take a few more risks, right? Or
Right.
that go through different paths. And I think, again, this whole concept for this podcast is to show people that whether you're, you know, somebody working for a corporation, having your own business, you know, it doesn't matter. We all can reach success through different paths, right? The point is just be successful, or
Yeah.
try it out, or do something.
Yeah, you know, another part of my vision was, you know, marry my wife, have my kids, and as you know, I'm with my kids pretty much 24/7.
I know that.
So
for
that
a
was
fact,
my
yeah.
vision, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to have my kids, have them stay at home with mom, and then me work 12, 15, 16 hours a day, come back home, my kids are asleep, they wake up, they see me, and then I gotta go.
Yeah.
I didn't want that.
Yeah.
because I wanted a solid foundation. I wanted structure, family structure for my kids.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to grow up in that healthy environment.
Yeah.
So when they go somewhere or they go through tough times, they can say, you know what, my mom and my dad, they got my back.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm not going to worry.
No, that's
And
really,
that's
really
one of
cool.
the reasons why I say, you know what, this other business of mine is not going to work out, because now this is my vision with my family. So now I got to cut this.
Yeah.
And what am I going to do?
Right.
So then I started thinking, what else am I going to do? And that's when I came up, I'm just stay home and breed dogs.
Yeah. But I mean, again, it's worked out and you've made it successful, right?
Yeah, it's not easy. And
No.
it hasn't been easy. And there's a lot of people that think it's easy. I'm going to get a male, I'm going to get a female. They're going to have puppies, and man, I'm going to sell them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make like, $30,000, in 2 months
Yeah.
or in a month.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to chill.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way. Hundreds of breeders have tried it, and a lot of them have failed.
I bet. And I mean, let's talk about, again, the time, the effort that you put into it, because you have a professional setup, man, at home. Like, you have a beautiful ranch, first of all. So nice. And the dogs have so much like space, honestly, too. Like, just, that they're happy dogs,
Yeah.
period. And then obviously you and your family take care of them personally. Like, I've seen you personally take care of these dogs. And then the whelping center. The whelping center, again, another thing that I didn't mention at the beginning, but the whelping center is something that nobody had done out here. And you go out and build this beautiful center for your dogs, for your females, right?
Right.
And you have state-of-the-art equipment. Again, another investment, something that you didn't shy. I love that about you, that when you go and you invest in the right stuff to make sure that it's going to, that you're setting yourself up for success in the right way. Like, you do your research, but I learned so much about that process when you were explaining to me too, because, having an incubator, being able to have this equipment for you to be able to monitor the pregnancies for your females.
Right.
The females having such a nice space, clean, nice space, where there can be, with their puppies. I mean, you have heaters, you have all this you have cameras.
Right.
Bro, you have cameras that monitor them 24/7. I mean, something happens because you're always keeping an eye on them if something.
Absolutely.
It's impressive.
Thank you.
It truly is impressive. And, walk me through this investment, because that was a big part of your business now, right?
It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time, and it takes experience. And, regardless of how long you've been in the business, you always have to learn. So the whelping center, when we first moved to Temecula, we built the building, but we didn't have the setup that we have now.
Yeah.
Pregnancies, sometimes they're not successful. Sometimes the puppies, they don't make it. And because, that being my only source of income, obviously, I always have to have a cushion, right? Of savings. And sometimes I can't touch that. And, just because if something planned doesn't go as planned, I have to have a backup.
Right.
Again, because I have kids.
Yeah.
And I have a family.
Yeah.
If it was just by myself, I'll go sleep in my car. Right? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But when you have family, everything changes.
Absolutely.
But then, we had the opportunity to invest back into our program, into our breeding program. And that's what I do. When I have the opportunity to invest 20, 15, 5, whatever it is, investment is an investment, and I'm going to bring it back into, my breeding program.
Yeah.
So we decided to put in the nice kennels inside, the nice, heaters. I got the progesterone machine, the ultrasound. This way I don't have to, take my dogs to the vet, and make them uncomfortable. This way I don't have to deal with them, pooping and barfing and, making a mess, in the car or the truck. But it has worked out very well. We launched the video, I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, like 2021, I think it was.
And, and now people started advertising or commenting that they have their own whelping center. but it will never be the same as mine.
Of course.
It's like, another breeder can come and, he can even potentially get into the same bloodline that I breed, but he will never be me.
Yeah.
When I put a post, I say words and sometimes somebody else says the same words and a lot of people see it, but that's okay because again, they can never be me,
Imitation is the biggest, what do they say? Imitation is the biggest form of flattery or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. But that's what I'm saying. People see your success, and obviously I think it's a good thing, maybe these people, to follow in your footsteps or try to follow in your footsteps, right? But there's also the right way to do it. And there's, there can also be a wrong way, right? So as long as these people maybe are respectful, I'm sure if they reached out to you, you're super down to earth, always trying to help people kind of guy. I'm sure if they reached out to you and, you would just have a candid conversation with them if they reached out in the right way, right? But
yeah, and I'm okay with all that. Again, as long as like you don't step on my toes and you don't disrespect me, my dogs, my family.
yeah,
If you want to build a whelping center and you call me and say, hey, Frank, listen, man, I saw your whelping center, man. It's super nice. I'm thinking of building one just like yours.
Yeah.
Where did you get, your incubator? Where did you buy, I'll let them know.
yeah, yeah.
Because to me, it's no big deal.
Right.
Yeah. Nothing's going to take away from me what I already have, what I am, and what I have built and what I have planned.
No, 100%.
Nobody will take it.
So talk to me now. The vision. What's the vision? Since you're such a, guy that likes to vision, I like that about you. I didn't know that until now, but what's the vision now, obviously, for the breeding program for the Rottweilers and the bullies? I know you have a few shows coming up too. Maybe if you want to talk about that, but tell me.
Yeah, I have a few shows for the bullies. I have 2 females that I already purchased and they're in China.
Nice.
They're coming, in the next few months. My vision with the bullies is to have here what nobody else has. It's the same thing with the Rottweilers. I'm just kind of replicating it in the bully breed. Okay. So Mr. Big Shot, he's the only son of a really big bully in China. So I brought I'm going to bring 2 other females. I'm going to breed him with her.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have what China has. I'm going to have it here. And it'll be good for me because now people, instead of going to China, they can come directly to me.
Gotcha.
Why haven't other bully breeders done it? I don't know.
Right.
It could be, a trust issue. They don't want to send 100,000 to China, and then have that maybe possibly disappear.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a risk, right? But again, I think you take very calculated risks or risks that that in the long term they're gonna pay off, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, it's I'm gonna breed them, and I'm gonna sell the puppies here. I like the bullies, but I like the Rottweilers more.
Gotcha.
So, if somebody comes and they say, hey, Frank, I like Mr. Big Shot, here's so much money. Would you sell him? I would sell him.
If it's the right amount, you would sell them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Either are my bullies.
Yeah.
Now, if they tell me, here's some money for sergeant or for commander, it has to be really good.
Yeah.
Because it's a different type of
Yeah.
I feel like I'm more closer to the Rotties, because that's my style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, and you've been with them for so long, right? That's the breed that you've been
right.
That's
right.
gotten that's gotten you up until this point.
Yeah. And so, talking about vision, so that's my vision with the bullies. I don't want to have 10 females or 15 females. I just want to have, 2 or 3 females and that's it. Because I like them, but they're not my passion.
Gotcha.
So that's a difference, right? With Righties, I can have 10, 20, 30 females. I'm okay with that. So that's my vision with the bullies, trying to create here what's in China. and have the people that really want this breed and this type of dog get them from me, versus China, because again, they don't want to take the risk.
Yeah, and once they're here, I mean, people will more than likely, just be attracted to like, hey, why take that chance with China when it's right here in the U.S.
Right, and obviously, my background and my reputation in the Rottie helps a lot. When I bring in another type of breed.
Oh yeah, I bet, absolutely. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else you want to share, but I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for being here with us today. For sharing everything. I know you have a passion for this, and it's just so exciting to talk to somebody that has a passion that continues to do it, right? And is successful at what they've done.
Right.
But, again, if there's anything else you kind of want to share before we wrap it up, I'll kind of leave it up to you. But again, thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for the invite. Very welcoming place that you have here.
Thank you, man.
I felt comfortable. I felt like I was at my own home.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
really
that.
nice, really nice. No, the only thing is, like I said, you have to love what you do. And sometimes we think, for example, I want to be a doctor. And I go into the field and it's just not for me. Because we can choose anything that we want to do in life. But once we get there, that's when we're going to realize if that's what we want.
Yeah.
If that is us or not.
Gotcha.
And, you can always change careers. You can always do something different. But I think up into the point where you get into that position that you really love and enjoy, then I think that's where you're going to be like 100% complete of yourself,
Great.
And just, if you don't like it and it doesn't work out, then try something else.
Yeah.
Try
just
something
never
else.
stop trying.
Yeah. Yeah. Life, as long as you are healthy, as long as, you have your family's healthy, man, I'm telling you, I mean, at least to me, the rest is a piece of cake.
Yeah.
I have roof, I'm good. It rained last night. My kids didn't get wet. I didn't get wet.
Yeah.
We were all nice, and warm.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. You know, anything else, I mentioned to you when I got here, I got hit.
Yeah.
My truck is damaged.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit hurt. But my kids, they're okay, and then I'll be okay, and my wife will be okay.
Yeah.
Material stuff, it doesn't matter. It's replaceable.
Absolutely. And again, that's why I thanked you at the beginning, because I was like, I know the type of week you've had, and just for you to still show up and be here, like, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here. For supporting me in this fashion, for, giving me your time. And honestly, I hope that, people who watch this or listen to this, your followers, of course, always have questions, can, continue to really learn from you, from the type of person that you are, before anything else. And then, they continue to support you in the way that they have, but again, thank you so much. If people want to follow you, what's your Instagram handle again?
So my Instagram is Vom Bustos House. My Facebook, you can look me up. It's also Vom Bustos House, or just my name, Frank Bustos. You can do a YouTube search. My channel is Vom Bustos
You'll
House.
come up, I know, because I looked you up and it's like, boom, right there.
You could just Google and say, I want to buy a dog from one of the best Rottweiler breeders in the world, and I'll be the first one that comes up.
Yep, that is true, because not only are you in the U.S., but you're worldwide, man.
Correct.
Absolutely. Love it, man. So, Frank, thank you so much for your time today.
Hey, no
Appreciate
problem.
it.